Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Big Fry, and I've been meaning to do this video for about a week now. I want to talk about early access and the effect that it's having on the PC platform, and some things that we can do as consumers and what Steam can do as the provider to improve the system. Now, this is going to be a longer video, so if you guys don't have the time or this really isn't a topic that interests you, I'm going to leave two annotations in the top left and the top right to some other content on my channel, so if you guys want to check that out instead, feel free. Now, let's talk early access. The notion of selling titles before they are complete in hopes that the developer can potentially make enough money to fund development. That sounds great. In theory, you as a consumer can help fund development of a game you believe in, you can help test the game for bugs, and as the developer, they get to keep the lights on. Win-win, right? Not always. The biggest problem with early access that I have is that there are no strict guidelines in terms of where early access fits into the development cycle. Now, prior to this early access flooding, we had cycles such as proof of concept, pre-alpha, alpha, beta, and then in some cases you had open beta, and then the game would go into full release. Other than full release, early access could cover any one of those stages. And we see that all the time with the types of games we see on the marketplace. We have games like Killing Floor 2, whose goal is to be out within the same year they launched onto Steam. So we're looking at about a 7 or 8 month development cycle. And from what I see, they're going to do that. I would put Killing Floor 2 in the same stage as a game like Darkest Dungeon, who is shooting for a 5 to 6 month early access time. Both of these games are shining examples of a feature-complete early access title. I would put both of those games in the beta stage of development, if we weren't talking early access. Now, on the contrast, we have games like DayZ, who have been in early access for 2 years, with no real improvements outside of cosmetic items. The core game is still broken. The zombies, still broken. It's just broken, after 2 years. Games like H-Hour, who claim they want to have a full game in 7 to 10 months, but so far aren't even close to making that happen. They launched with 2 maps, 2 game modes, and a plethora of missing features and issues. The problem is all of these examples fall under the helm of early access. All of those are acceptable early access titles. So I guess my question is what the hell does early access mean? Now, according to Steam, early access means you get immediate access to games that are being developed with the community's involvement. These are games that evolve as you play them, as you give feedback, and as the developer updates and adds content. Now, another snippet from this early access page states that it's up to the developer to determine when they are ready to release. Some developers have a concrete deadline in mind, while others will get a better sense as the development of the game progresses. Now, this right here is where the underlying problem is with Steam. Steam does not put any pressure on the developers to come into the early access state with a plan or a roadmap. Developers can and have abused this system for monetary gain, only to have the game either stay in limbo or get canned altogether. The real pressure is put into the hands of the consumer. If you as a consumer want to see this project come to life, you have to put your money up and essentially buy into a promise that this studio or this developer is going to produce you with a product. And there's absolutely no liability on the developer side. They can take your money, do whatever they want, and nothing can come of it. Now, there's a title that some of you may have heard of. It's called The Stomping Lands. It's a dinosaur survival game that launched with a successful Kickstarter, successful Greenlight campaign, and a successful early access launch. A year after that launch, the game gets canned. Work stops. Their lead artist just gave up on the project. Apparently he wasn't getting paid. The studio head you couldn't get in contact with them. Throughout the entire time, there were complaints of PR mishaps, no communication from the studio head with the backers, and eventually the backers complained that they were just being strung along by community representatives. Sound familiar? But at the end of the day, Kickstarter couldn't offer refunds, and backers were stuck with a dead game that they put their money towards, and the developers walked away scot-free. So how do we stop this? Well, Steam needs to step up to the plate, lay out specific requirements for early access, including the current state of the game, make the developers actually have a product with features, and just essentially make sure it's not a shell of a game. Make sure that it's optimized well enough that people can play it, and just make sure that it's up to snuff. Make sure that, I would say, put it into a beta position. Make sure the game is up to snuff for even a beta stage development cycle. And they need to make the developers, Steam needs to set out transparency requirements in terms of roadmaps, the frequency of updates, and more. Like, if a developer has an issue with Steam putting some pressure on them to be open and honest with potential customers, then that developer doesn't deserve our money, doesn't deserve my money, and they can take their game elsewhere. You can go and try and sell it somewhere else. It's funny, on that Steam page where it describes early access, it warns the consumer that these games may not be finished. So only purchase if you're okay with playing the game as is. Now, to me, that is a huge red flag. That is a huge problem, because Steam is acknowledging that all the risk involved with this transaction is on the consumer. Now, Steam has just introduced refunds, which I think is a great system. I think it could be a little bit better. You can only refund if you have less than 2 hours played, and I see pictures on the internet where that doesn't even work. People have played a game for 10 minutes and Steam won't give them the refund. And I think you can only refund if you purchase the game in the last 14 days. The 14 days thing I totally agree with. I think that's plenty of time to install the game, play it, and see if it can run. The 2 hour thing I don't like. You see how Steam works with games that demand launchers. Arma 3, PlanetSide, and all the MMOs, they have an external launcher. So when you start the game in Steam, it opens up a launcher where you download all your updates and whatever else. Now, I myself, I exit the game and I accidentally leave the launcher on, and that launcher being on in the background adds to your total playtime. So I'm going to make a prediction here. I'm going to say that a lot of early access games are going to start coming with a launcher. And I know H1Z1 already has one. So you play the game for 20 minutes, you close the game, you go to bed. You forget to shut the launcher off. Now your playtime is however long you were sleeping for and however long it took you to realize that you didn't fucking turn the thing off. So now your playtime is, say, let's just call it 8 hours. Well, you're not getting a refund. And I know a lot of early access games who are just looking to make a quick buck are going to start implementing that system so they could potentially take money from people who might just be a little bit forgetful. And you guys just watch. If you guys see that in a new game, just keep that in the back of your mind if you're watching this video. That could be something that they're trying to do. And I hate being cynical. Look, I really hate being cynical. I've been burned by early access games before. I've been burned by AAA games selling us on a trailer or what they deem in-engine footage, and then when the game comes out it looks like garbage, or it doesn't look up to snuff. It doesn't look like what they sold us. We've seen it too many times. But the problem with early access, and why I continually harp on the early access thing, is these guys are indie developers. These guys are the ones that are breaking the mold. These guys are the ones that are trying to bring us essentially different experiences than the Call of Duty cookie cutter shooter, blah, 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 blah. So the fact that some of these guys are out there just trying to make a quick buck on someone who, might not know who you are, but they just want to put faith in you as a studio because they like your supposed vision, and you're out there trying to take advantage. It's not a good thing. I see that all the time. I don't like it, and I'm going to speak out against it. It's weird, like, Ark Survival Evolved just came out last week. I was really excited to play it. I saw the trailer. They put out a trailer there a little while ago, about a month ago, and it said, clips taken from live online gameplay. And you see it, and it just looks beautiful, and you're like, that could be within the realm of an actual gameplay trailer. Like, it's no CGI, it looks really good. And they said that it was live online. So I buy the game, and I have a pretty good system. I'm running 16 gigs RAM. I have a 980X 6-core processor, and I'm rocking two GTX 770s. And I couldn't run the game on the absolute lowest settings with the resolution downscale all the way down. No shadows, no nothing. I couldn't get 30 frames a second out of the game. and the trailer shows, max graphics, 60 frames a second, and the trailer looks gorgeous. And I'm thinking, okay, maybe I won't get that, but the fact that I couldn't even make it run well on an N64 type graphics setting, it kind of bummed me out. So I went to Twitch, and there are guys like Lyric streaming. Lyric has 3 GTX Titans. Now, if you guys don't know much about PC gaming, the Titans are fucking behemoths when it comes to PC parts. And he could barely, at some points it would dip to 40 frames a second, 50 frames a second. He couldn't get 60 frames a second. And that's how you know that there's an issue. Now, some people might look at that and be like, well, it's early access. And you're right, early access. And, the developers have been patching. They patch a lot, and apparently it's better. I haven't gone back and played it, but I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. But the fact of the matter is, you put out a trailer with in-game graphics that at the point of launch were absolutely impossible to achieve and to keep and to attain that level of graphic fidelity. And to me, regardless of how many patches you put out or how hard you're working, you misled a number of people. And it's so funny that after the whole Stomping Lands debacle, the same day that Ark is launching, Ark is, of course, if you guys don't know, it's a survival game with dinosaurs. It's the same premise as the Stomping Lands. Of course, this game is more feature complete. But the same day that it launches, Steam launches their refund system. And I really think that those two coincide, and I really think those had, to do with one another. I think that Steam did not want to get caught up with another dinosaur survival game, going belly up. And I don't think that Ark is going to be that. But at the end of the day, you put a trailer out, you said it was live online gameplay, and absolutely nobody in the world could achieve that online. You couldn't even achieve it offline, for fuck's sakes. It was impossible. So my question is, how did the developers of Ark, who I believe are the company's called PlayArk, how did you guys even film that trailer? Because it shows people running around. How did you guys even film it if the game is not even optimized to that point? To me, that's just fucking impossible. It's impossible to get that footage looking that great running online with other people. Because you can't do it in real life. How did you do it then? And it's an example of I'm trying to look for a product from somebody other than the AAA, Ubisofts, EA's, Activisions, because we know that those guys fuck us around. They fuck us around with pre-order bonuses, DLC bonuses, and they're just trying to get a quick buck. So everybody looks to the indie scene or the early access scene to see what, other projects are coming up. And for a studio that is filled with a bunch of people that we don't know, with a bunch of people who have talent that we've never really seen before, because this is your first project, you want us to put our money into you, put our faith into you, based on what we see in the trailers and the pictures and stuff like that. So when those pictures are false and those videos are false, that leaves a really sour taste in my mouth. That's not proper. That's a lie. At the end of the day, it is a bold-faced lie. And people could say that, yeah, but once they patch it, you'll be able to get those graphics. That's great. But that's not the order that this shit should go. Those patches should have already been done. That should be what I should buy and what I should play when, the day one that I buy it. That's what it should be. So I have an issue with that. And it doesn't matter what developer it is. People say I like to harp on H-Hour. It doesn't matter who it is. PlayArk, H-Hour, whatever. If you lie, you show us video of what you deem gameplay, and it doesn't look like that, there's a problem there. And the problem needs to be rectified by Steam essentially protecting the consumer instead of, giving the developers, all the reins in the world to do whatever they want, essentially. So if Steam can regulate that, if the developers can be held accountable, to actually provide us with a product that they're selling us, and if Steam, I don't know if Steam could regulate that or not. I don't know how difficult it would be, but I just think that with the way early access is going, a lot of companies and a lot of titles are looking towards early access to fund their development, and I just think that as it grows, there needs to be more rules in place to protect consumers over protecting developers. If you guys like the video, leave a comment down below. Use the keyword early access. I guess it's keywords. Hit that like button, guys, and let me know what you guys think about early access. If you guys enjoy early access games. See, it's crazy because I myself, I buy early access games because during the summer droughts and like the first quarter of the year usually is kind of stale with AAA releases. So I look to Steam to see what kind of products are out there, and I bought in games like H Hour, and I got burned by that one. H Hour was garbage. But on the other hand, I bought games like H1Z1, where I have had nothing but good times with it. So let me know what you guys are playing. Let me know if you guys are buying into the whole early access thing. And yeah, we'll just have a discussion, guys. If you want to get me on Twitter, it's at BigFryTV. And if you want to follow me on Twitch, we do streams there. So I've been streaming SOCOM, Arma, and, a bunch of other stuff there as well. It's twitch.tv/BigFryTV. And yeah, guys, if you enjoy the content, if you made it this far in the video, I thank you guys for that. And yeah, have a good day, guys. Thanks for listening.